never gonna get tired of that song. What's up, everybody? Hello. Time for more Metal Gear Solid 4 action, and by action I mean installing the next mission, the dreaded Mission 3. Anyone who's played this game will pretty much know exactly what this is about, and it's not a lot of fun. For me, this is like the entire worst mission in the entire game. I am not looking forward to it, but if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid 3, there are a lot of callbacks to that particular game in this upcoming episode. So without further delay, let's get that going on here. And away we go. All right. OBS kind of locked up there for a second. It's kind of weird. All right, so let's make sure that the stream doesn't freak out. Do the HTTP encoding being stripped. All right, and we got picture. Good. Okay. My old creaky chair. Really would like a new one. Actually, I miss my old chair that I used to have, but unfortunately the pneumatic on it blew. It was like I wasn't sitting at the time, but it like completely blew out. It sprayed like graphite everywhere. I always loved the DTS ones. Those were the most, the DTS were the most fun. Especially because not only people, it turns out they didn't really have DTS receivers a lot of times. If they had surround sound, they'd have Dolby Digital. So my friends would come over and I had a DTS receiver. And it was a 6.1 receiver, which was really awesome, the movies that supported that. So that was like the closest you get to like straight off movie sound back when things were compressed. Now, audio, when you get like a Blu-ray movie, the audio is uncompressed. That's what's actually taking up a lot of the space on a Blu-ray for movies. Like, because your average movie, like The Matrix, for example, takes up around 38 to 39 gigabytes of a 50 gigabyte disc, and the majority of that is just the audio tracks because they're uncompressed. They are gigantic. So this should prompt me to install Act 3 now. So, quick recap. Was tracking down Naomi, had our fight with Laughing Octopus. Some PMC goons come in, extract her out of there. I had to track her down through a forest. Get to a helicopter and you see Vamp is there. They're about to fly off. And Vamp calls Liquid Ocelot. And he's like, hey man, do that stupid thing again where it causes all the people to fall down with a seizure. Vamp's like, okay. Snake shoots him in the head. He gets incapacitated, like Vamp is incapacitated for about 2 minutes or so until the nanomachines regenerate his brain. And then Drebin shows up and everybody escapes. There's a wild chase and shooting through town. And then Jack, aka Raiden, shows up again. This time a full cyborg ninja. Wrecks like 15 different geckos or so. And they all manage to escape, but he's pretty screwed up. And that's where we're at right now. That's the story so far for at least Mission 2 to now. My quick little synopsis. Adjust the microphone position. Alright, perfect. It's always like the first install when you do Mission 1 or Act 1. That's the biggest install of all. But everything after that is usually around 2 minutes or so. And the latest patch, or the final patch for this game, does give you the option to install them all at once, but I wanted to do them one at a time. Okay, so about 3 minutes or so is what it's projecting. So I'll just sit here and watch Snake get lung cancer slowly. Or better yet, let's play some Mega Man X music instead. Make it more entertaining. I feel like I should do like an announcer close for this. Alright, welcome back. That was Mega Man X Storm Eagle on WORSL Radio. Wackiest place in the morning. Yeah, I'm not really a radio jockey. Never would be. But anyway, we're watching this geriatric man who's probably around, actually, reality in his mid-30s, just smoking himself to death because Rose, the wonderful radio operator in Metal Gear Solid 2, is in this game, and she encourages you to smoke in order to relax and calm down. Best doctor ever. So let's get started. Now, if I remember correctly, when you're roaming around in these little mission briefings, you can actually run into characters and sometimes they'll drop stuff. Your pan's too hot. If your white's set up that quick, they are way too hot.
The trick is to keep the lid on.
Exactly. Thank you, Naomi.
Now, let it cook for 1 minute. You like cooking, don't you? Good for you.
I'm trying to kill the person you consider an uncle.
This is my sunny side up fortune telling. When it turns out good, it means something good is gonna happen.
Oh. So that's why you don't cook them over easy.
You're just now remembering to set the clock. Set it for 30 seconds, lady.
But the secret to good cooking is to keep who's going to eat it in mind.
And fill it with nanomachines. Let me tell you about the war economy.
Oh. Is this your mother?
Alright, let me turn up the audio for the game.
She's really beautiful.
She's also really
That
dead.
tune you were humming. It's from the periodic table, isn't it?
Please don't
Thorium,
sing.
protactinium, uranium, neptunium, plutonium, americium. Berseum.
Curium.
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 That's it. Curium.
Why are we laughing? Naomi, why are you like have so much cleavage?
Oh, this?
You know, those eggs have been cooking for like 3 minutes now. They are burned to hell and back.
May I?
She pushes it right into her brain.
There. See, Sonny? Us girls have to look our best.
We gotta find somebody who's rich, old, and has heart problems.
Her name was Olga.
Hmm?
My mother.
With the unshaven armpits, I remember her.
I see. Ah, it's gonna
Yeah,
burn.
exactly. They are burned.
Oh, hold on. Hold on. And there. Done.
Thanks.
Of course. We did a great job.
What's this wee garbage? I'm the one who cooked it. Screw you, lady. You're old. You're burned. Why?
Dr. Emmerich, Liquid is in Eastern Europe. He's after the corpse of Big Boss.
Huh? What for?
It's the final key he needs to gain access to SCP. The keys to the system are Big Boss's genetic code and biometric data. Without them, there's no way to gain access.
Wait, what's Liquid been doing all this time?
I don't know the stuff. Oh, there it is.
Forming pattern.
Battery.
Two tests. The first, using the genetic code from Liquid's DNA chip. In his second attempt, he used the DNA code and biometric data extracted from Snape's blood.
What's the need for the original if a substitute works just as well?
Neither your genetic pattern nor Liquid's genetic pattern is a 100% match for Big Bosses.
Naomi, I need you to stand up, please.
Match.
Switch to the larger camera for you. I just need the smaller one.
Dr. Emmerich. Scientifically speaking, there's the markers implanted
Ah,
in the
police
cloning
dots.
process. The mixing of mitochondrial DNA within the egg cell. The intentionally
Ramming speed.
Terminator genes, scientifically speaking. Both you and Liquid are as similar to Big Boss as you could possibly be, but you're still different.
Different?
Look out, Sonny.
Yes.
Bam.
So that's what Liquid was talking about.
We're not copies of our father, after all.
We're copies of some guy named Venom Snake.
Which is why they created Solidus.
He was just some weird medic on a Big Boss's ship.
Solidus is dead.
Usually those, I
Listen
don't show up in the
carefully,
cutscenes. I'm like right in
This
front
is
of
the
where
most
you can see
important
Sonny.
part.
I was pretty sure that if Naomi stands up, you run into her, you get something,
The
but I could be
AI that
mistaken.
controls the
It's
system
been 10 years
employs
since I
a
played
highly
this.
aggressive, advanced IDS. It uses a special code to inspect all data and commands circulating within the network. Any data that fails to conform to that code is treated as a foreign object and expunged, like viruses killed by white blood cells. The authentication program this IDS uses is based on a genetic identification program, one I helped develop for Foxdie. It's set up so that host commands only execute properly if the key matches perfectly. However, if the IDS suspects someone is trying to break into the system, it registers that genetic code on a blacklist. That code is then blocked and can never again be used to access the system. So, if you're going to use a substitute, you need to find a new genetic access code with each new trial.
So when Liquid accessed the system in the Middle East and South America, it was only a test.
I can't believe this. Snake and Big Boss don't have the same genetic code?
Strictly speaking, Snake and Liquid aren't the same either. Which is why Foxdie only affected
Oh god,
Liquid
now he's
with
gonna
Shadow
fall in love with
Moses,
Naomi.
and spared you. Let's put it this
God,
way.
why is my memory so blocky?
If Liquid uses Big Boss's genetic code, the original, he'll have the system completely under his control.
Hold on. I thought having his code wasn't enough. You need his biometric data at the same time, don't you?
That's right. And Big Boss is already dead.
Or is he? Spoiler, he's not.
No. He's alive.
Big Boss is alive.
His body is. Or rather, his cells.
That's impossible.
After all, you burned him to death.
Big Boss survives as a biomort. A brain-dead shell sustained in a lab.
Oh no, she's getting up. Come here, Naomi. Choo-choo! Ramming
Liquid
speed.
has already left
Yes.
for Europe in
All right.
search of Big Boss's body. Right from the start, he knew his experiment in South America wasn't going to work.
Europe, huh?
Take that, Shins. Oh no, I missed. Uh-oh. Uh-oh. That's a problem. I'm about to miss a trophy. So, yeah. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to continue the game, but I'm going to create a new save file the next time I get the chance so I can come back and play this off stream and get it. No, actually, that's going to cause a problem because I can't do that. Crud. So, you know what? I'm going to restart. So, yeah, that's my fault entirely. I apologize. I mean, I wasn't paying attention because there is a trophy involved where you need to hit X for every single story point that comes up. And that's entirely my fault. I missed it. So, apologize, but I don't think anyone's watching right now, so I don't think it'd be a problem. As my voice goes uncharacteristically high. But at least I don't need to reinstall the chapter again, so that's another 3 minutes we don't have to worry about. But I do apologize, but that was entirely on me. I was like focusing on the main screen where I had, or the smaller screen where I had the footage up there. Because when you ram characters with the Mark II, you'll hear the pickup sound. That means you get an item. So you need to ram certain people. It's funny, you literally ram into them using the robot and you get items for it. It's the only time you can get them. And I was paying attention to that. I was about to explain that mechanism, why I kept running into people. And then I saw that I just missed the X prompt. So I don't plan on playing this game again for probably another 5 to 10 years after I beat it on streams. So I really want to get all the trophies that I can. Alright. As much as I love the Dolby Digital Surround sound test. I'm going to skip it. So I was thinking at first, like, okay, not a problem. I'll just create a different save, come back to this later and do it off stream. But the problem is that I would have to keep playing until wherever I stopped, because it's a separate branch. It's like a fork. So that wouldn't work. Alright, so no more slipping from me, I promise. I will pay attention. So the first part, if it loads up exactly the way it's supposed to, good. I can skip, I think the first part is skipping Sunny and Naomi cooking eggs. That's useless filler. I don't have to watch her destroy eggs anymore. Skip. Skip. So this should bring you down to the cargo hold. Okay, perfect.
Dr. Emmerich, Liquid is in Eastern Europe. He's after the corpse of Big Boss.
Uh-huh.
What the hell?
It's the final key he needs to gain access to SOP. The keys to the system are Big Boss's genetic code and biometric data. Without them, there's no way to gain access.
I
Wait,
don't know if I hit him hard enough.
what's Liquid been doing all this time?
Go. iPod.
He's been performing tests.
Extra
2
battery.
tests. The first, using the genetic code from Liquid's DNA
So I have
chip.
time to explore for a
In
little
his
bit.
second attempt, he used the DNA code and biometric data extracted from Snake's
See if there's
blood.
anything else around here, because I just gotta wait for Naomi to stand up. She's the only person left.
For the original, if a substitute works just as well.
Oh, teddy bears.
Neither your
Chickens.
genetic pattern nor Liquid's genetic pattern
Haha.
is a 100%
Give me your
match
eggs.
for Big Boss.
What do you mean we don't match?
Dr. Emmerich. Scientifically speaking, there's the markers implanted during the cloning process. The mixing of mitochondrial DNA within the egg cell. The intentionally altered Terminator genes.
Oh my god, I didn't notice that the first time.
Scientifically speaking.
They are falling in love with each other. This is crazy.
Both you and Liquid are as similar to Big Boss as you could possibly be, but you're still different.
Different?
Oh god, that reminds me. I get to hear Otacon
Yes.
go whining again when Naomi dies. Spoiler! I keep saying
That's what
spoiler,
Liquid
I
was
don't know
talking
why,
about.
because you're watching me do this anyway. Time and cardboard box of drums, 0. Combat highs, 1. Sweet.
Which is why they created Solidus.
282
But
weapons
Solidus
or
is
items
dead.
acquired.
Listen
7
carefully,
points
Snake.
from
This is the most important part.
sales. 54,000. Alright, so I'm keeping an eye on things.
The AI that
Waiting for the
controls
X's
the
to pop up
system
so I can hit
employs
it.
a highly aggressive advanced IDS. It uses a special code to inspect all data and commands circulating within the network. Any data that fails to conform to that code is treated as a foreign object and expunged, like viruses killed by white blood cells. The authentication program this IDS uses is based on a genetic identification program, one I helped develop for Foxdie. It's set up so that host commands only execute properly if the key matches perfectly. However, if the IDS suspects someone is trying to break into the system, it registers that genetic code on a blacklist. That code is then blocked and can never again be used to access the system. So, if you're going to use a substitute, We need to find a new genetic access code with each new trial.
So when Liquid accessed the system in the Middle East and South America, it was only a test.
I can't believe this. Snake and Big Boss don't have the same genetic code?
Strictly speaking, Snake and Liquid aren't the same either. Which is why Foxdie only affected Liquid at Shadow Moses.
So that's what he meant.
And spared you. Let's put it this way. If Liquid uses Big Boss's genetic code, the original, they'll have the system completely under his control.
Hold on. I thought having his code wasn't enough. You need his biometric data at the same time, don't you?
I have a feeling I may have
That's
missed another
right.
X prompt, but I don't care. I'm going
And Big
forward.
Boss is
I'll
already
live with it.
dead.
I've already made one mistake. I'm not going to continue to make you guys suffer through it.
No. He's alive.
Yeah, I missed a prompt
Big
already,
Boss
but
is
I'll let it rock.
alive.
His body is. Or rather, his cells.
That's impossible.
Big Boss survives as a biomort. A brain-dead shell sustained in the lab.
There we go.
Liquid has already left for Europe in search of Big Boss's body. Right from the start, he knew his experiment in South America wasn't going to work.
Europe, huh?
The test was a failure, even with
Yeah,
his
I missed
code.
one, but
As I
I'm going to keep
feared,
going.
it's not pure enough. We need all of him.
Our
That's my
only
fault,
remaining
but
option is to secure the
That's
original.
That's on me, so I'm going to keep going.
If Liquid obtains the body, he'll be primed to make his
Hi there.
final move.
Left answer.
Allowing him total control of the system.
Exactly. Unless we can stop him first.
I was actually trying to look up stuff for like Drevin points and if there's any way to manipulate. I remember that there was ways you could do that in the past, like get discounts, but while I was looking up that, I missed one, so damn. Speak English. It's like, oh my gosh, what is going on? It wouldn't let me hit the X for a second.
Uncle Hal, I found it.
Huh? Ah. This is it.
This is that weird porn I like.
Where'd you hack this from?
AT Security. The Patriots.
Can't believe this sort of thing still goes on.
The war economy is heating up the R&D race. It's not just the PMCs either.
For me.
Every corporation tethered to the
Oh, yeah.
military-industrial complex is losing its sense of morality. And it's us science-holics who are doing their dirty work for them, not even realizing it.
Can we make Jack better?
I don't know.
Sonny. May I?
Stand up, Sonny. Yes, there we go. All right. Now I don't need to ram people anymore, at least in this part.
It's no use. There's nothing we can do here.
What do you mean?
Look at this. His artificial blood needs dialysis. We don't have the proper equipment.
Dialysis?
Getting his wounds healed is important too. put
Well,
it this
here's the
way.
thing with dialysis is you can
He's not gonna
survive
last
5
that long.
days without doing it. You will be very
Dialysis.
sick by day 5 on
Is
the verge
that
of
like
death.
what kidneys do?
But you can do it.
That's right. Raiden's blood
normally don't wanna go
is
more than
an
3
older
days,
type
typically.
of artificial blood that was used by the military, called white blood. After it's been in use for a while, the blood needs to be dialyzed, filtered. Right now, he's slipping into autotoxemia.
If you're slipping into autotoxemia, you are at day 5, your kidneys have gone, you are dead. Quick, hack into his body.
It's there. In Europe.
Europe is a big place there, buddy. Where in Europe might help us out?
What do you mean?
Eastern Europe. They have equipment that can heal me there.
That's still a big place.
Where? The same place Liquid went?
Dr. Magnar
Wait, Dr. Madnar from
saved my life.
number 2? What? Dr. Madnar is dead. I didn't catch that the first time I played this, because I didn't play Metal Gear Solid or Metal
Dr.
Gear
Madnar.
2.
I've heard of him.
A world-renowned cybernetics expert. Strictly underground, though.
We're in luck then. It's settled. We must head for Europe. The sooner we get there, the better.
Yeah. I'll call Campbell and have him get us landing clearance.
Oh, look at that. Just screw already, she's gonna
Snake,
die.
where you going?
Get some while you can.
I'm gonna be spewing out poison soon enough anyway. What's one more smoke gonna hurt?
Oh god, it's an oxygen-rich environment. Everyone dies
This
horribly.
is a no smoking flight.
Be cool, Sonny. Come on. Spank you for that. Bad girl. Give him back his smokes. Don't anger the man who is a living, rocking weapon. There's Olga, still dead. So is she like maintaining her Wikipedia page, or? My mommy was the bestest. She didn't shave her armpits. Solid Snake. Oh god, why do you have her picture up there? You wiener. Damn, we better be questioning, like, why do you have that large portrait of your dead sister who had the hots for you on your screen? I need to rethink our whole crush situation here.
Who is this?
Yeah, a very good question.
Her? That's my sister.
She had the total hots for me. And I had the hots for her and her mom and kind of banged them both.
She might have been your girlfriend.
No, I don't have a... Emma was a brilliant programmer. She wrote the worm that destroyed the Arsenal Gear AI.
I don't know, she looks kind of frumpy, like PlayStation 2.
Killed her.
Surprised I didn't like redo her model at all, but of course you saw, like,
No, there's nothing
you know,
for
Metal
you
Gear
to
Solid
sorry
1 models
for.
too.
Or me.
You're right, let's go just back up.
I used to be an anime otaku.
You still are, loser.
Oh. So that's where Otacon comes from.
I was always fascinated by sci-fi anime. That's what got me into this line of work. It's too bad reality wasn't so simple. I never even imagined that science, that my own research, could cause so much misery. I mean, it's not like us science holics or Satanists or anything. But even when we've got the best of intentions, we end up being used by others for evil.
Dr. Emmerich,
You see this? Sonny helped me build it.
Quit deflecting.
really? Sonny helped build this?
We built it using top-secret docs and patents dug up from intranets at a bunch of research labs. To tell you the truth, I think she's better at it than I am.
But she's just a child.
She cracked the protection on your mail.
Wow. I, assumed it was you.
Sonny was taken by the Patriots right after she was born. She never even met her parents. She's spent her entire childhood inside the net.
She's seen some weird stuff. Rule 34,
That's where she
Goatsy,
has trouble
Tub Girl,
speaking.
Blue Waffle.
Her home is in the computer.
She liked Lemon
She
Party.
can only see the outside from the inside. She's always in there, searching for herself.
Haha, Hideo 2 on the
Searching
left
for
one.
her
That's
family.
great. There are so many little Easter eggs thrown through because this is supposed to be
She's
the
trying
final
to find out
game.
who she is and where she's going.
Searching for herself and her family.
She believes she can find the answers inside a machine hooked up to the world. She spends every day inside the net, exploring. For Sonny, this is home.
No, it shouldn't be like that.
What?
It's time you let her go outside.
What are you talking about?
She hasn't even been born yet. She's still in the womb.
Oh god, I can't believe I'm hearing this nonsense.
She needs to live a real life.
But Sonny's never shown any interest in leaving the Nomad. Frankly, I'm worried about letting her go out there.
So you're the overprotective parent.
I have a feeling she'll do just fine.
You really think she'll be okay going outside?
That's not what I meant. I think she's got a good handle on her science.
Sorry. Go on.
Huh?
You were about to say something.
Oh, right. Would you mind if I helped Sunny with her cooking?
Oh, of course not. Go ahead. But, about all we've got on board besides military rations are eggs.
No. Leave them off. It makes you look handsome.
And so you can't see me, like, totally sabotage you.
You think so?
It's like, I've never kissed a girl before.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure he hasn't. Oh, well, actually, he has. I take it back. Well, let's just say non-relative.
Dr. Emmerich,
Huh?
He has not kissed.
is it okay to sleep in there?
Excuse me?
Well, Dr. Emmerich, I know it's easy to forget sometimes, but I am a woman. You understand. Sorry. I
Sure, I
know
mean,
it's
I'll just peep at
selfish
you
of
through the
me,
windows.
but I'd like to be alone for a while.
Right. I understand.
Not really, but I understand.
I'll show you in.
Thank you.
Snake's like, just screw already, come on.
Good night, Dr. Emmerich.
Yeah. If you get uncomfortable or anything, just let me know. I'll be out there working.
You know, you might hear me cry myself to sleep. It's kind of usual.
Thank you.
Oh.
Yes?
Call me Hal. Good night.
You're gonna die a kissless virgin, dude.
Good night, Hal.
Or not. Snake's like, I can hear everything going on. Oh my god. I'm not supposed to cry that much. At all. Alright, so face camo, Otacon. Cyborg, Raiden, closed. Visor open and closed. iPod music. Save game. Yes, I will save. So Hal finally slept with somebody who wasn't related to him by family. Good for him. You may think I'm joking. I'm not. That's exactly what came out in Metal Gear Solid 2. So, I'm drawing a blank, starts with an M, that they mentioned earlier in the cutscene that I went, what? Why is he alive? He was like the design. He was in Metal Gear 2, not Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear 2 for the MSX, the game that did not come over here to the States until Subsistence for Metal Gear Solid 3. I'll stuck it on that disc. But here's the thing. He was in that game. He was like the designer of the new Metal Gear in the game, and you end up fighting him and killing him and setting his body on fire, much like Big Boss. So he is dead. You killed him many years ago. So all of a sudden, magically, because I guess Kojima forgot, he's alive again. Beats me. I'm just playing, man. And so we start the literal worst mission slash act slash chapter in the entire game. It makes no sense. It's just not fun.
Snake, a national state of emergency has been declared in an effort to
In
root out the
Yugoslavistan.
local resistance. The hunt is being carried out by US-based PMC Ravensword, one of the companies under Outer Heaven's control.
Which means that Liquid's lurking somewhere behind the scenes.
Right. And at the top of the target list is the Paradise Lost Army, the resistance group led by Big Mama. Snake, you'll be infiltrating the region where they are believed to house their base of operations. It looks as if the PMC's moved swiftly, cutting off Big Mama and company's escape routes. They should still be hiding somewhere in that area. Big Boss's corpse is bound to be with them. You've been added to the PMC's blacklist, so you're going to have to lie about your identity to get in. I've provided you with a way to evade the checkpoints. Make contact with the Resistance and find Big Mama.
Or me.
This is our last chance. We must reach Big Boss's body before they do.
This PMC has to be pretty well funded. I mean, these guys are heavily armed. I know actually people who have worked for, like, gosh, what was it?
Next.
Blackwater. I had to stop and think for a second. Guy tried to recruit me into a job for it there as martial arts, combat instructor. But, yeah. It's like they are not anywhere that good. It's like, basically, you'd see people going into combat just wearing, like, baseball hats, jerseys, crazy stuff, the guns all taped together.
Next.
It's rare to have, like, a PMC be, like, super well funded where these guys are, like, fully decked out in the latest tactical gear and armor. Because you have to buy all that stuff yourself, usually.
Next. Next. Said next.
Speaking English. What?
You. Get your ass in the machine. Hey, are you deaf? Take him away.
You're coming with me. I said over here.
So this is his master plan. To get through the checkpoint. Cause a big fight. With men who are trigger happy.
That's enough. I'll take him from here.
But...
We've been looking for this man.
Yes, ma'am.
Come with me.
Next.
You're looking younger. What's your secret?
Base camo. A little present from tentacles.
So they're looking for him. And his idea to sneak in is to basically be what he used to look like 2 years ago. That they know what he looks like and they're trying to actively search for.
Overseeing all PMC activity.
That's his
Having
master plan to
connections
sneak
can
in.
Still open doors.
You alone?
Snake! Hey, Snake! Over here! Hey, Snake!
What is wrong with that guy?
Yeah, they're looking for a guy named Snake on top of it.
Listen to me, Snake. After reporting what happened in the Middle East to my superiors, I wrote up a threat assessment. The President's finally realized the danger Liquid's little rebellion poses and has called for immediate action. Now I've got more bodies than I know what to do with. A whole joint Army Marines team. They're already on site, mixed in with the US forces here. We're ready to strike Liquid at any time.
You're planning to take him by force? It's crazy. Look, things aren't that simple.
Listen, old man. I don't take orders from you or from your Colonel Campbell.
It's gonna be the Middle East all
You got
over.
daddy
No,
issues
it
still.
won't. If things get out of hand, we can put a total lockdown on the PMC's weapons. They won't be able to fight back. Don't forget, we control the system.
I wouldn't rely too much on the system if I were you.
We've got them beat in sheer numbers.
Meryl.
Look, Snake. Just leave this to me. There's no need for you to put yourself in harm's way. Don't risk your life for no reason. Snake. What you're trying to do, it's not a mission.
I know. It's not justice. It's a hired hit.
If you know, then...
Dude, tap that ash off. Come on.
Look, our ways of thinking might be different, but to me, you're still a legend, a hero. I know all about the things you did when you were young. It was what kept me going. I can't bear to watch you die over something so pointless.
Don't worry about me. Old soldiers never die.
Your cause is our cause now. You don't have to do this.
I'm no hero. Never was. I'm just an old killer, hired to do some wet work.
Fine. Then we'll just have to catch him. Before you do.
By the way, barring a single reset I had to do earlier because of a mistake I did,
I may have loved you once.
I haven't played this game at all in 35 minutes.
But now you're just too damn senile to face the truth.
35, 40 minutes at this point.
Wake up and face reality. Old Snake. And stay out of our way.
Dang, I thought she had a thing for old guys.
Otacon, they've seen this face too.
No duh.
Yeah. It might have been added to the PMC's blacklist as well.
And Meryl was acting kind of
It's your
strange.
normal face. What did you
Things
expect?
are going to get hairy once the American suppression troops get here. We'd better get to Big Boss's corpse, and fast. But first, we've got to find Big Mama. Snake, let's go over what we know so far. The streets are under curfew. The only people you'll find out there now are PMC soldiers and members of the Resistance.
Yeah, I thought it looked a little too quiet to be a tourist attraction.
The Resistance members are scheduled to convene at Big Mama's hideout. So our best course of action is to follow their lead. When you find the Resistance, tail them. Let them lead you to Big Mama.
But how exactly am I supposed to find this Resistance?
The PMCs have laid a dragnet for Resistance members that covers the entire town. They're using SOP to notify each other by radio of any info collected during their searches. By intercepting those signals, you should be able to reach the Resistance members' locations in real time.
Intercept their communications? How do I do that?
I've provided you with a new device for just that purpose. To hijack PMC communications, open the item window and select the Signal Interceptor. The interceptor constantly monitors PMC voice and data transmissions. When you've got the Signal Interceptor equipped and you hear the PMC's chatter about the Resistance, check your map. It should display the location.
Got it.
Oh, and Snake, I think we've found a way to treat Raiden.
Really?
Yeah, we got in touch with Dr. Madnar.
Yeah, Dr. Madnar.
Naomi
He's
and
dead.
Sonny are on their way now.
They'll be all right on their own.
They're a few clicks north of where you are now. It's a non-combat zone, so there won't be any checkpoints. There's even a dialysis machine. It'll take some time, but I think he'll be okay.
Good.
Anyway, you need to hurry and make contact with Big Mama.
I got it.
If Liquid gets his hands on that corpse, it's all over. Follow the Resistance's lead.
Alright, so Dr. Madnar, like I said, if you're just joining in right now, Dr. Madnar was in Metal Gear 2. Not Metal Gear Solid 2, Metal Gear 2, which is on the MSX computer. Never came out here in the States until the subsistence versions of Metal Gear Solid 3, and then they threw it in there. People have also been emulating it for years too. But he was the guy who designed the Metal Gear for Metal Gear 2. And Snake fights him and kills him and sets him on fire. So he's been dead for like 20 years, but I guess Kojima forgot that fact and then said he's magically alive. Civilian disguise. Young Snake camouflage. Young Snake with bandana. Ooh.
Okay.
First thing, save. I've been playing for probably about 45 minutes. 45. Yeah, about 40 we'll save because there's the install as well. But, yeah, this is the first I've actually gotten to play the game today. Good lord, this game is long-winded. There are some neat things, like camouflage options, disguise. One of the things I have now are the different face camos. I do none. It's not letting me do it. The other ones, but I can also do this. I can walk around as her. Or Otacon. Or Raiden with the mask. Or the visor open. So I wonder if this say if I just do this. If I walk around as Otacon instead.
You found a...
Oh, that was really hard. Alright, I'll just go back to Young. This music is way too upbeat for just trying to walk around and follow some guy.
Interceptor has analyzed a PMC data transmission. It's marked the location of a resistance member on your map.
So let's take a look at the map. Yeah, that's real helpful. Pretty sure I won't be needing the javelin at this point. So far. Dude, what are you waiting for? Is it that guy over there? Fine, I'll take him down. There, is that what you needed? Okay, apparently that was the problem. So when he stops, I need to, like, take people out for him. You saw nothing. Why do I still have a knife in my hand?
The Interceptor has analyzed a PMC data transmission. It's marked the location of a resistance member on your map.
The thing is, like, I don't know exactly what I'm looking at. I'm guessing it's basically just the general kind of orangish area. Yeah. Doesn't really tell me a whole lot. He's stopping to pee in public? Well, it is Eastern Europe. Yeah, this guy doesn't find suspicious that they're suddenly unconscious like PMC people.
Snake, the location of a resistance member has been forwarded to your map. Check it out.
Unfortunately, I'm also fighting a slowly breaking down DualShock 4 controller. Up, down, left, right work well, but diagonal movement does not. It brings it to a slow crawl like that, so I have to readjust and kind of move it out of the way.
The interceptor has analyzed a PMC data transmission.
Isn't this fun? Okay, let's save. Just a second. Check something out real quick. Got a notification on my phone real fast. Want to see what's going on. Okay, just a friend of mine gave me a thumbs up to something I sent him. Okay, no biggie.
Snake. Find some way to free him.
This is HQ. Understood. The state of alert has been lifted. Resume positions.
There he is. Okay, I lost track of him for a second. I had to try to evade him. I'm not sure if he runs up the steps or not, so let's crouch down and see where he goes from this direction. I think this is the last section, I hope. So I remember them driving by, like, kept driving by in roads and stuff here, so I could be wrong about that, but that's what I remember at least. So it might be another section of this or two, and this is, like I said, this is the worst, hand down, worst part of the entire game to have to play through. It's just so slow. The next part, however, the next mission, definitely makes up for it, because you go back to Shadow Moses, which is where Metal Gear Solid 1 took place. That's a lot of fun. Oh, jeez. Oh, that's right, he changes into a different... he changes into a uniform.
There's something fishy about that PMC trooper. Do you hear whistling?
This guy's with the Resistance. It's amazing that it managed to last this long. Just gonna turn around. Jeez, right at the wall.
Snake, the location of a resistance member has been forwarded to your map. Check it out. I was thinking, oh no, I lost him for a second. I didn't, that's good. Looks like they're conducting vehicle patrols.
Oh yeah,
Watch
here
out
we
for
go.
them, Snake.
Vehicle patrols, just what I need. So I need to tail this guy without him spotting me and dodge vehicles as well. And somebody just left grenades in the middle of an alleyway. Shoot. I don't know if I'm safe here or not. Okay, I think I've made it finally. Say, game, what are you doing? Don't give me that symbol.
Who's there?
I'm here to see Big Mama.
Is this the guy? What do you think?
I didn't hear him coming at all. He's gotta be
Oh,
the
look at
one.
that. Nice little portraits.
Yeah, but look at him. He's ancient.
Very impressive, CQC, Snake.
Oh, look, it's Eva. Really old Eva, because time marches forward.
No doubt about it. He is the legendary soldier. Call me Mama. Big Mama.
I need to talk to you. Raiden sent me.
My, how you've grown, David. It was you, not I, who was created from the rib of man. But I gave you life. I am your mother.
Surrogate mother, yes.
What?
Les enfants terribles. You can't grow a human being in a test tube, not even a clone. You need a woman's body to give it life.
You mean a surrogate mother?
That's an awfully cold way to put it. I am your mother. I gave birth for the Patriots.
Gave birth?
The forbidden fruit. Appropriate. No? Follow me. I'll explain everything. The man who wants me dead is Liquid, your twin. You think you know him, but I know him better. He was once Ocelot, but Liquid has taken control of his soul. And now he's locked in a bitter struggle with Zero.
Zero?
The founder of the Patriots.
Yep. Your support crew from Metal Gear Solid 3 are the Patriots. They formed them.
40 years ago.
Go figure, huh? Out of nowhere, just because.
During the Cold War, when the United States and the Soviet Union were still at odds. It was in that chaotic era that the Patriots were born.
And I played my part. I was one of the founding members.
You?
Zero created the Patriots to manage and control the American state. That control endured long after the Cold War ended. The organization became an empty shell, continuing to function through AIs. Those AIs are responsible for the creation of the war economy.
Oh, take a shot.
And they gave rise to the Sons of the Patriot system.
Let's turn it up a little more. It's all talking here.
I am partly to blame. I bear some of the guilt for creating the organization. It was right after I first met your father, Big Boss. Back in 1964, I was ordered to take part in a CIA op called Operation Snake Eater, which concerned a new weapon the Soviets were developing at the time. My mission was to support a certain agent. That agent later became Big Boss, but I knew him as Snake.
Snake?
Yes, Naked Snake. That was his code name at the time. A name he would give to you, his son. The commander of this mission was a man called Zero, the head of Special Forces Unit Fox. Back then, I was working as a double agent for the Chinese. My objective was to secure the location of the Philosopher's Legacy, a massive cache of hidden wealth, and report it to Beijing. I was to acquire a microfilm showing the location of secret funds, funds amassed by the Allied powers during World War II. But I failed in my mission and was expelled from China. I took the apple from the snake and was cast out of Eden. After years on the run, I ended up in Hanoi. That's where I met him again. It was around then that Zero used the massive funds contained in the Philosopher's Legacy to start a new organization, the Patriots, which would carry out the final wishes of a certain legendary hero. The initial membership consisted of Big Boss, Sigint, Paramedic, and their commander, Zero. Oh, and there was one more who we mustn't forget. He stayed behind in the Soviet Union to support the group as an informant.
Ocelot.
Ocelot, who is now Liquid. After your father rescued me in Hanoi, I went to America and joined their organization. Zero's goal was to achieve a unity of thought and awareness. He believed that was what the boss wanted, and the rest of the Patriots followed his lead.
The boss?
The boss was a legendary hero from the Second World War, known as the Mother of Special Forces. She had an almost overwhelming charisma about her. The CIA feared this, so they had her eliminated. If she had survived, the world of the 21st century might have been a very different place. We were all influenced by the boss's will. It was what drove us to create this organization, to be closer to that spirit. Zero decided that in order to lead the people, we needed a special kind of icon. So we turned to Big Boss, the last son of the boss. He shared more of her life than anyone else. It was Big Boss, the true heir to her legacy, who was best suited to play this role. Zero elevated Big Boss, the hero who saved the world, to the status of an idol. The truth behind Big Boss became riddled with exaggeration, misrepresentation, and outright lies. Zero disseminated these stories among the masses and gathered the rich and powerful to his banner. Every era needs its symbols to control the people, whether it be the stars and stripes, or the hammer and sickle. As the times and currents of politics changed, so too did Zero. Eventually, he became a prisoner of his own lust for power, sparking friction between him and Big Boss, who resented playing the puppet. With Big Boss drifting away, Zero realized he would need insurance. something that would perpetuate the existence of Big Boss, their organization's icon.
Wow, she was talking like super quiet.
Zero secretly embarked on a new project, Les Enfants Terribles.
Have it
Its
turned
goal
all the way
was to
up.
create a clone of Big Boss, the ultimate soldier. The project was led by Dr. Clark, known at the time as Paramedic. After dozens of failures, they finally, miraculously, succeeded in producing a fertilized egg. The egg used in the successful in vitro fertilization came from Dr. Clark's assistant, a healthy Japanese woman.
Blood from the east flows within your veins.
Give birth to Big Boss. To realize this, I asked to serve as the surrogate mother, and was more than happy to carry you in my womb. I loved him. 9 months later, I gave birth to 2 Big Bosses, you and Liquid. It didn't matter that you were clones, or that they had manipulated your DNA. You were born the same way as any other normal child, from your mother's womb. But Les Enfants Terribles proved to be the final straw for Zero and Big Boss. Determined to oppose Zero and his plans, Big Boss broke away from the Patriots. He left the States, created his own mercenary company, and drifted around the world. I'm sorry. Your father never wanted you. Human life isn't meant to be manipulated like that. I knew that, but I wanted you. After Big Boss left, Zero really lost control. What Zero wanted was an orderly world, one governed by rules. His fortune grew through countless wars, and his words influenced decision-making all the way up to the Oval Office. As the world saw the rise of digital technology, IT, the internet, and genetics, the Patriots' power grew immense. Their roots spread and took hold throughout the globe. In time, they began to dictate the fate of entire nations from the shadows. And before we knew it, the Patriots, the proud police of the world, started bringing an entire planet under their control.
Oh, jeez. So yeah, the goofy support people that were your allies in Metal Gear Solid 3 were all just out to rule the entire world, and they suddenly became evil. Don't know why. It's Kojima. He just, like, he kind of wrote himself to a dead end. He's like, well, I need an antagonist for this game other than this Ocelot. So, yeah, Zero and Paramedic. Then Paramedic suddenly became a doctor who figured out how to clone people in the 70s, and it's like, what? Yeah, I apologize about audio being all over the place. I do have it cranked up all the way as maximum as it can go, but certain things are quieter than others.
Their intentions were fair, but their execution was flawed. Zero developed weapons, amassed armies, used information for extortion, all in order to gain more wealth. He was obsessed with controlling awareness on the inside from the outside. But I cannot imagine that's what the boss would have wanted. They both misinterpreted her will. And their absolute reverence for her drove them apart. So began the war between Zero and Big Boss. Opposing interpretations, each striving to realize the boss's will. Everything you see today stems from their Cold War. Differences in race, in religion, in ideology. This war they've caused is no different from any other human error in history. It all started with a tiny fork in the path and grew into a great rift. There was nothing left of the boss's noble will in their struggle. All that remained was hatred, a passion to destroy one another. Big Boss returned to the US with a plan in mind, and once again assumed command of Foxhound. In Outer Heaven, and then Zanzibar Land, Big Boss plotted coup d'etat against Zero. But you, Solid Snake, his own clone, foiled his efforts both times. Big Boss and Gray Fox, Frank Yeager, were left near death. Zero recovered their bodies. Frank Yeager's entire body was reconstructed through surgery, and he was reborn as the cyborg ninja.
Some would say it was $6 million.
Big Boss, now a vegetable, became a prisoner of Zero even in death. For Zero, more than anyone else, your father was an irreplaceable icon. No, the truth is, for Zero, he was an irreplaceable friend. After Big Boss's betrayal, Zero could no longer believe in something so uncertain as life. He lost his belief in everything. Nations, organizations, individuals. Zero was no longer willing to place his organization in the hands of the next generation. Instead, he set up a network of AIs, a decision-making system formed from all the information he had accumulated. He built 4 AIs, GW, TJ, AL, and TR, as sort of a digital Mount Rushmore, and 1 core artificial intelligence to unite them, John Doe.
GW. The same GW we destroyed 5 years ago.
The same. Ever since GW was cut off, JD and the other 3 AIs have controlled all information on every aspect of global society. Economics, politics, law, morals, and culture. The war economy is no exception.
Take a shot.
In the shadow of the system and its complete control over the world, Big Boss isn't allowed to live or die. He's trapped for eternity in a brain-dead prison. To bind himself to his friend, to ensure his rule over the world, Zero transformed Big Boss into an icon, neither living nor dead.
Sounds almost like a religion.
Naturally, Ocelot and I plan to free him from Zero's prison. We enlisted Naomi Hunter, an authority in the field of nanomachine research, into our organization.
Another shot.
And we used Frank Yeager to kill Dr. Clark. Ocelot tortured the DARPA chief, Donald Anderson, also known as Sigint, to death, and made it look like an accident.
The Shadow Moses incident.
With Paramedic and Sigint dead, Zero was the only one left. But we too paid a price. I lost Ocelot. Ocelot wasn't fighting for the Pentagon or the Russians, and certainly not for Zero. He was fighting for Big Boss. He idolized him. When Ocelot grafted Liquid's right arm to his own, his body was taken over by Liquid's thoughts and spirit. He may be Ocelot in physical form, but his mind is Liquid's. I was the last one. And then someone appeared to help me.
Raiden.
It was when I met him that I finally discovered the location of Big Boss. It was in the data he obtained from GW. Together, he and I retrieved Big Boss. But Big Boss was still asleep, as Zero had left him.
Why did Zero keep him alive?
People need heroes. Zero wanted to create a messiah. A legend that would never die.
Except for he was known for betraying his country.
Boss's body. Is it here?
I'll take you to meet him. This is his pyx, his holy ark.
Be like Mad Max when he takes a sheet off of Goose after he's been horribly burned.
His body is alive, but his consciousness is locked away by nanomachines. So technically speaking, he's not really brain dead. We can't allow Liquid to inherit the same sins that corrupted Zero. Manipulating people's minds for the sake of his own ego.
Otacon.
Snake, it's Naomi.
What happened?
She's gone. She's not in the Nomad anymore.
When?
Less than an hour ago. She disappeared right after she and Sonny got back from Dr. Madnar's place.
Why weren't you watching her?
I didn't have my glasses on.
Naomi said it herself. The experiment can't succeed without her.
You think she went back to Liquid?
What about Raiden?
Good news on that front.
Oh yeah, that's normal.
We managed to get our hands on a dialysis machine and set up an ICU. We just started him on dialysis and treatment for his wounds.
Will he live?
Yeah, no worries there. Sonny's taken over for Naomi. But his treatment's probably gonna take 48 hours. Until then, Raiden can't move.
Hey, you! Come here!
What the hell is that?
Move!
Shoots her foot. Oh god.
Scarabs. Unmanned scouts.
They've found us. We're moving out.
Kinda busy here.
The PMCs are converging on your location. Damn it! They're sending in Gecko. They'll be on you in less than 5 minutes.
Are they ready?
Yes, ma'am.
We'll escape through the canal route using the real van. Get it ready. Hurry.
Yes, ma'am.
Snake, over here. You've got decoy vans set to draw some of our pursuers away. All of these children were orphans. They work in arms factories. And when they grow up, they want to join a PMC. They seek revenge on other companies, PMCs that killed their parents, and use their earnings to support their younger siblings. There are countless child soldiers like these in the PMCs. Nowadays, anyone with a computer can get combat training.
Flashback to the E3 demo, 2005.
For free by these companies. Of course, it's all just virtual training. It's so easy for them to get absorbed by these war games. And before they know it, they're in the PMCs holding real guns. These kids end up fighting in proxy wars that have nothing to do with their own lives. They think it's cool to fight like this. They think that combat is life. They don't need a reason to fight. After all, for them, it's only a game. Zero is the cause of all this. Defeating Liquid won't change things. Unless we stop the Patriot system, the cycle will go unbroken. Hop on. Hold on to me. With so many wars being waged,
You know, people are trying to come and murder you. You should probably get going.
precious as diamonds. It's been a while since I went out for a ride.
Are you sure about this?
Well, I have cataracts. I
only get
can't
off my
see.
bike when I fall in love. Or fall dead.
Big Mama.
Call me Eva. Here we go!
So I got a new weapon, and if I can, I don't think I have to use this one. So I think like the best bet is also just switching back over to the M60. It's got a huge,
We have to keep Big
huge
Boss's
ammo
body
count to it.
out of enemy hands, no matter what. Get the body safely to the canal escape point.
Okay, so it's locking me out of my really good weapons like the M14, AK. What about... Start with the M14. Yeah, they have all the good stuff that's locked out right now. Not letting me have the fun things. MP7's ID locked? Really? 20 rounds, 30 rounds, 50. This is 20. So let's go with the P90. Perfect, it'll let me do it. Okay, so I'm limited basically to handheld weapons is what the restriction is. So let me check his weapons, this like Drevin's weapon store to see what's available for like one-handed that might be even better than this. So I'm just looking for something that's got like a lot higher like ammo count to it, so I'm not constantly having to reload. All weapons, handguns, submachine guns. That's all I got really. Rifles, firearms, explosives, so that's pretty much all I can do. Okay. Where is my javelin? Can't even buy ammo for it right now. Okay. Yeah, whenever you let go of first person view, it goes like super cinematic camera and starts swinging all over the place. You know, it's better if we start moving. There you go. Yeah, so let me know if the audio needs to be readjusted, because I had to crank it way up for when she was just blabbering on and on. But I don't know if it's too loud now or not, but I have it kind of adjusted again, so... If you're lurking in chat, lurkers are always welcome, but if anything needs to be adjusted audio-wise, just let me know. I'm cool with it. It's such a shame because this looks so cool when you're not doing, you know, when you're not doing all the cinematic stuff. It looks really awesome. Evil Knievel, eat your heart out. You know, there wouldn't be if we just kept driving. See? Just like that. You can do it.
Here they come! Snake, watch the right.
Alright, so I think we're at a cutscene now. Again, which is a big surprise, which is why this is not the best chapter. Yep.
There you are, Snake! Where's your anger? Show me your rage!
Hey, Figo, what's going on? Playing the worst act in Metal Gear Solid 4. This part just got really loud all of a sudden. Pretty late for you. It's like, what, 4 o'clock in the morning? Well, thank goodness we had that loading just to get to that brief little cutscene. True. Good point.
I've got bad news. The decoy vans have all bitten the dust, which means the enemy will be focusing on you now.
Excellent, Snake!
Off a little longer.
Excellent, Snake! Excellent, Snake!
That's why it's such a shame. It's like so cinematic, but you can't really do anything. My mom says I'm excellent. Pete has nothing to do with this. You leave him out of it. Worst 50 cal operator ever. He can't hit anything. Woman, can you drive? Can't hit anything. You keep swerving. Oh yes. Gotta love it. This game actually runs with an unlocked frame rate, but it's just so low. It's like it literally runs anywhere from like around 20 to 60. Yeah, exactly. How much longer to this?
I think we lost them.
Huzzah!
There it is.
So you're trying to recover his body, so you blow up the van? I don't think they know exactly what they're doing. She's like, don't worry, I got impaled through this exact same spot like 55 years ago. I'm all good.
Big Mama, come on. Stay with me.
It's like, literally, she got stabbed through the exact same spot 60 years ago.
I need you.
Is that you? Snake. Mother's work is never done.
Big Mama.
Where's the van?
It's kind of in pieces. Over here, over there, another piece over here.
The children.
Oh yeah, he did.
No.
Oh good, a FAL, like one of the worst weapons ever. These guns are junk.
She'll be coming to search the van.
I'll take care of it. You stay here. Keep watch.
I'll contact the children.
Here. Take this.
Snake, come back in one piece.
I will.
Promise me.
It's like, why am I having flashbacks to things that I didn't personally experience? Alright, so now I'm about to get in a fight with the boss of the level, and then I think it's done. Basically, I just want to get Chapter 3, or Mission 3, whatever you want to call it, done for tonight. 4 is where all the fun begins, because that's where you go you literally go back to Shadow Moses, which is where Metal Gear Solid 1 took place, and that is a lot of fun. Well, yeah, in tight corners you want a pistol, it's more maneuverable. Even though it's got an M4, it's a pretty long barrel, it looks like a 20-inch. Not the best for close quarters. Papa needs his heroin.
Give me your anger, Snake! Let it boil to the surface! Let your fury flow freely! Anger begets anger! Come on! Show me your rage!
Have you considered anger management therapy? It might help. Alright, save, then I'm gonna hit up Drevin's shop. One thing I want to see first though. Codec. Nope, okay. Alright, Drevin's shop. Firearms, that's fine. Javelin ammo. Here we go. Alright, because I remember I think the Javelin was decent to take this thing down. This I don't really need. It's been a while since I can't remember exactly, so put that in there. Should be decent, I guess. And unfortunately my DualShock 4 controller I'm using is like breaking down, so not the best. Actually, an RPG would probably be better. Okay, let's see what other weapons I got. I'll swap it out for that right now. Let's go back inside and keep climbing up. Shoot the gun, please. Stand there, will you? Thanks. You dodged it. It's like, I'm pulling it out, he's not reloading, and then all of a sudden decides to reload. Like, afterwards. What the hell is hurting me? Oh, that place is on fire for some reason. Okay. This fight is just, like, super annoying. You don't move too fast. It's actually beneficial that she takes out all those things for me. As you can see, like, I'm doing like next to no damage. Can't tell if that's a decoy or... Nope, it's the actual one. Yeah, it's really aggravating. It's just, I remember being like this huge, like, drawn-out fight, and it is. Ooh, I can buy a stinger. Well, it's 100,000. I can't buy a stinger. Okay. See, why is there any explosives? Where does he have this categorized? Rifles, submachine guns, etc., bullets. Okay, so let's try the M72 then. I got a couple shots for that. Okay, it fires slow. Good to know. And she called out more of her drones somehow. Of course. You know, I have like the perfect gun for this I'm not using. And let's see, swap out M4 for the M60. Charge, got a lot of ammo, don't have to worry about reloading constantly. Really? Really? That is cheap crap right there. I've never seen it do that before, ever. It blew me off the building. Didn't even know that was possible. So guess what? I get to go all over again. Isn't that fun? Alright, this can go place with you. M60. M4. You're faster. Alright, should be good enough. Okay, that actually works a lot better than the RPG, because the RPG just fires way too slow. So let's see. Bullets. And it's not hitting her, not hurting her at all. Okay, there we go. Just had to time it differently. Oh no, you don't. Game tried to do it again. So that's the new cheap tactic is the game is trying to play, is just shoot me right off the building. Get up, Snake. That's nice.
Something's coming! We're not gonna last here!
squishy. Okay, moving on down to a lower level, I think. There you are. Hi, buddy. Hold on to this for me. Thanks. Girl, you know where I'm at. You come here. Okay, maybe not. Okay, she's down. But now, the fight's not really over. I still have to defeat this other form. Her crazy, I'm dying, getting out of my body form.
You bastards. I'll never forgive you. Never. I can feel the anger building up inside. Eating away at me.
How's a robot molt? That's more questions. Okay, pretty much.
No. I'll never forgive myself. I don't want to be angry. I don't need anger. I'm not angry.
I'm a good person with happy feelings all of the time. Are you having like an acid trip or? I feel like Snake should be putting rounds into her head to just kill her right now, but instead he's gonna stand there out of pure curiosity.
Let me out of this cage. I don't need these wings. I don't need this range.
Yep. Where's Snake looking at? Right there. That's where the camera automatically focuses at. Here's what you do. Run away. Now, saving here, I don't know. I think it will, like, just save it at this point because it creates a new thumbnail for it. So I don't have to fight the boss again if something happens, which I don't expect it to. But if you take down her down this part, like non-lethally, then you get like a camo for it, so... This makes you waste your rounds. There we go. Now Drebin's gonna tune in after her final death scene and yammer about how she had a horrible life. She once went to the zoo and the bird exhibit was closed, and ever since then she started laughing and was angry. And you too can create your own crazy Drebin stories. Just scroll down to like number 2, input the information it wants, kind of like Mad Libs, and it creates a story just about as crazy as the one that Drebin tells you about all the people you've been murdering. Always wanted one of these.
Way to bring that bird down, Snake.
Drebin.
And you got yourself a souvenir, too. A grenade launcher. Nice. That's a real user-friendly weapon.
Not much use to me without an ID, though.
I laundered this one free of charge.
Well, that's nice.
What's the catch?
Only that you give it to me when you're done with it. A weapon with that many decades of rage stored up inside it? Now that's a collector's item.
How old was she?
I'd say about 20. But she had years of soldiers' rage hidden away in that youthful body of hers.
Soldiers?
Yeah, the soldiers of Ake. A place that hasn't seen peace in a long, long time. She was captured by one side or another, and kept caged up like an animal, along with God knows how many other kids.
Anonymous violence.
Exactly. It's unknown whether her captors were with the government or the rebels. In any case, they got their kicks by abusing these helpless little kids day after day after day. That constant barrage, that battlefield rage slowly built up inside their bodies, their minds. The kids tried to keep each other's spirits up, always clinging to the hope that someone would come to their rescue, barely surviving off of scraps of food. But those soldiers didn't stop. They called the kids parasites and shit-eating ravens. Beat them even harder. Then one morning, the soldiers just up and left, leaving the surviving kids to be eaten alive by the birds. Almost like one of those sky burials. One by one, their bodies were picked apart by ravens' beaks, until finally the flock came for her.
Here's my Drebin story. I think
But
it's just
by
about
some
as
miracle,
interesting.
Their beaks cut her bonds instead. And like that, she was liberated. In that instant, she was filled with an uncontrollable rage, and it smothered her soul. She ripped the ravens pecking at her to pieces, and then went after the soldiers. And when she finally caught up with them, She waited until nightfall like a hunter awaiting its prey. They say that when a raven cries, a man dies. And that's exactly what happened that night. Screeching and cawing, she killed every last living being in the camp. Both the soldiers and the civilians they'd enslaved. In her eyes, there was no longer a difference. The cruelty her friends
Snake's
had
just rolling his
suffered,
eyes like, Drebin,
the
where's this
pain and
going?
humiliation she'd endured.
Listen, like, my mother
Hers
is
was the
downstairs
distillation
dying.
of the rage that
Does the story have a
decades of
point?
war had imparted on those soldiers.
It was her strength.
Yeah, just use the
And
link I
her
created. I
greatest
put it
weakness.
up above it.
You're something else, Snake.
Scroll down to like number
managed to
2,
cleanse
Drebin's
Raven of
bedtime
her
stories. And you can input.
No,
there's like a section there you can put in like verb progressive, which is like
seed of
hitting,
war.
striking,
In fact,
shooting,
I'd say you might even be
all
war
other
itself.
stuff.
Drebin.
Maybe it's still too early to tell. You still got half the B&B Corps ahead of you. Keep your eye on the ball, pal.
Alright, finally, jeez. Got the face camo for Raging Beauty. Sorry, you know, the story just kept going. Didn't know it'd end. Need to find Metal Gear.
Snake. I have to apologize.
Damn right you should.
The 3 vans that came out with us are decoys.
Well, good, you died for nothing.
The real one is floating down the river, headed downstream. I managed to get in touch with the children. The Pix is safe. We're going to rendezvous on the riverbank, downstream.
Have the audio cranked all the way up. These
Land and
cinematics
air
are super
routes
quiet.
Cut off. But there's a cruiser waiting for us.
So hopefully you can hear it okay.
The Volta River is our only chance of escape. Let's get out of here. Hurry.
Good thinking.
This way. Follow me.
We just gotta buff it out. They'll be fine.
I don't need to feel the wind anymore. There's no need to keep lying to myself. I only get off my bike when I fall in love. Or... Oh...
There's no more lying to myself, I'm not hot.
Give me a hand.
Yeah.
The underground aqueduct leads to the river. There should be fewer of them down there. Oh.
Snake's like, oh man, old people take forever. Really? That's... Well, what does it have then, if you don't have battles with wild Pokemon? Keep in mind, I'm not really a Pokemon person. I've played Pokemon Red for exactly 10 minutes. I'm aware of what it is, but... Yeah, exactly. Like, okay, if you don't fight battles with Pokemon in the wild, then what do you do? It's like a fighting game that nobody hits each other with. It's like, what? Pacifist... Yeah, Monsters of Pacifism. Gandhi versus Martin Luther King Jr. And they just stand there talking to each other. No one, like, all your punch buttons do nothing. I could just shoot him in the head and put an end to this all, but I'll sneak up on him instead.
Liquid.
Not bad.
Where's the pigs?
That no longer matters.
Where is it?
Was that it? I couldn't tell. You were screaming in like agony.
Is that it?
Even Snake's like, is that it? Really? If you insist. Oh look, it's our boy Vamp. Maybe. That's a good point. Oh no, he saw me.
Naomi told me everything. And now
Hal finally got laid and not to a family member. Good for him.
have it. The thing I've sought for so long. Big boss. Put down the gun, Snake. It's already too late.
Okay. You got another 2 acts
Almost
anyway.
Did it. But it looks like I win after all.
Did you hear my poor PS3 just fans chugging away?
Cigars. Father's favorite. What do you say? Care for one last smoke?
Huh. You think you're big boss now?
Probably. She's got to be related to him somehow. It was like if Vatican's banging somebody, it has to be some kind of family.
Guilty as charged.
I mean, Naomi even came up to him and asked him like, "Who's this picture?" You know, he's got this big, like half of his computer monitor is a picture of Emma. It's like, dude, really?
But all that.
Explain that one to your
today.
new little love interest.
Nice try. But when it comes to CQC, I've got the upper hand.
Even if you do get a hold of the system, you'll only have one part of the Patriots AI. The military part.
Yeah, remember when CQC wasn't a thing in this game until the third one? Until the previous game? Then suddenly, oh yeah, I forgot I had all these abilities that I didn't use in any other game up till now.
It's only a matter of time before I have every.
Also, if you remember in Metal Gear Solid 2, Ocelot was speaking with Liquid's voice, and they just completely just dropped that for this game.
Remember GW?
Like, okay, yeah, he thinks he's Liquid now. But we're not gonna have him do the voice perfectly.
A part of my army.
Impossible.
Why do you have a name tag? It's like Ocelot's just wearing a name tag like, hi, I'm Ocelot.
Your worm only managed to cut GW into little pieces. Pieces we were able to reconstruct. And then we stowed it away inside JD's network. This man's body has served me well, allowing me to pass every security barrier between me and GW. After all, the Patriots system is nothing more than a machine. Now that GW is a spook inside the network, there's no way JD would recognize it as an external threat. Once I destroy JD with a nuclear strike, the Patriots network will be mine. And then...
Yeah, he magically has Volgan's powers.
Free from all forms of control, I'll cast aside my old identity and take my own name for the first time.
He's got Volgan's powers. He had like Fortune's ability to bend bullets through technology.
Liquid, you're planning to recreate the Patriots.
Snake, we were created by the Patriots. We're not men.
Shadows in the shape of men. We're freaks who never should have existed.
Yep, always nanomachines. It's like no knife would be lodged that hard into a person where they couldn't remove it. If it's sharp enough to get lodged in, you can pull it out.
The Patriots saw fit to create us, and in doing so became our only raison d'etre.
You have legs too, you can try kicking. Go for the shins.
I won't fight my fate any longer. I'll kill Zero and Big Boss and become a Patriot myself.
But you are a Patriot, you are a founding member of the Patriots, remember? Oh, by the way, like, Zero, Sing It, Paramedic, everyone from the third game was a Patriot. So they suddenly went crazy and tried to take over the world because Kojima.
The world can be reborn.
Ah, she's just standing and watching it all. Going, yeah, I'm not getting involved in this craziness. It's like, I've seen enough of this insanity. By the way, Ocelot, who is, like, older than her... Yeah, it doesn't make sense. Never mind. I was thinking about something, but I was wrong, so... Didn't complete the thought. Oh, look, Adam and Eve. And he hates apples.
So long as we both live, the world will not know an age of light. If we're to pass the baton to the next generation, the only choice left to us is death.
Yep.
Boss. Good.
Adam and Eve. He was supposed to be your contact that you were supposed to meet in Metal Gear 3, except for Eva showed up instead.
The time has come for you to witness. Witness our moment of triumph.
His real name is Adamska, so, which is Adam in Russian. Go, my little tugboat, go!
Go!
Slowly, they're getting away. I mean, you could walk on your hands and catch up to them, I'm sure, if you tried, but... It's like they're using the trolling motor. You have time to run after them still. You can do it. Yeah, but of course that would have created a whole time paradox, which is the joke of Metal Gear Solid 3, because you can kill Ocelot in that game, but of course it says time paradox and you screwed up the history of the future. The Colonel comes in, he's not even in the game, but he'll show up and yell at you for changing the future. But yeah, it all could have been solved about a good 60 years ago. But we're at the UN, we can't do anything, we don't really have weapons. They're not really loaded. America! Using XM8s, which the Army tested and roundly rejected as a terrible, terrible gun. And Blackhawks, which are not really... or Blackhawk variants, because it's the future, which are not really attack weapons or transports. Yes. Vehicle gear. So when do we get the double rotor helicopters? Because apparently one rotor wasn't good enough. Pardon me. Dude's got a Barrett. It's a 50 cal. It'll take out the engine of that thing in like one shot. Or blow Ocelot in half. See, 50 cals do a fun thing to a human body. If you get hit with a 50 caliber round from like a Barrett or a 50 cal itself, it creates what the army calls, or the military calls, a temporary wound cavity larger than the body itself, which is a polite way of saying you get blown. You literally explode from kinetic energy transfer. So all that guy has to do is just shoot once and hit him and kaboom, he's dead. No, it stops here, because then Metal Gear Solid 5 goes back in time like 30 years before to the 80s, which is supposed to be showing how Big Boss goes bad and forms Outer Heaven. It leads up to the events of Metal Gear, the first game, but of course Kojima didn't do it at all. Even if he had done his game how he wanted to do and completed it, even with his so-and-so ending, didn't even go there, so there would have had to been like a Metal Gear Solid 6 to even go to that part. But yeah, this is like the end of the road future-wise, and then 5 goes back in time. It's like a second prequel, kind of. Because 3 was a prequel, and so is 5, technically. And then it's like George Lucas, where basically he didn't write anything past it. He just kept going back to like the same 30-year time period between Star Wars films, you know, between the quote-unquote prologues or the prequels. God, those are trash. And then Star Wars. That's why I kept going back to that 30-year time period and kept trying to cram everything into that. And that's pretty much what this game does. It's like, okay, 4 is the end, but we're going to cram everything between the 70s and the 80s. Yeah, we'd probably just now, probably this year, the game probably would have finally come out. Either this year or last year. Oh gosh, where is that? I need to find a comic real quick. Here we go.
The system is mine.
This is what would have really happened.
Weapons are no longer your own. Behold, guns of the Patriots.
Yes, Nanomachines is the correct answer. And he's hacked into the system because all guns have to be user ID'd. So like I said, that comic I posted there would pretty much be what would have really happened in actuality. People would have hacked their guns to not do it. I mean, that's what Drevin does anyway. And the helicopter explodes for literally no reason, from like a 20-mile-per-hour crash. Yes, they needed more geckos to show up. Weaponized cows. They're all reacting how stupid this is. Oh god, the writing's so terrible! There's so many plot holes and inconsistencies. Why? Guess who doesn't have nanomachines in them? Pardon me. It's getting a little too dry up here. I need to get a humidifier going. I never had them for some reason, which doesn't make sense because you have to have nanomachines in order to use a weapon in this universe. That's also why he's such like a flailing moron. Well, unfortunately for these guys, they don't have plot armor like Snake and the rest of the crew do, so they're all doomed. If only I had main character plot armor, it would have been okay. Zero was your commander guy from Metal Gear Solid 3. He was the guy on the radio, the British guy, who was like the colonel in this game, or the previous games. So it turned out that Zero went crazy, and he formed the Patriots to rule the world with paramedics, Singed, and everyone else who was your support in Metal Gear Solid 3, because Kojima ran out of ideas and said, well, guess what, now they're all bad guys, and they went crazy and tried to take over the world. It's really dumb.
Let them have it. We don't need it
And that's the body of Big Boss, who is like in some kind of weird coma. And Eva just set herself on fire. Self-immolation. Good job. Well, Snake does like the smoke, so take it a little bit too literal. You're a terrible character! She comes in at, like, literally, like, the last 30 minutes of the game, just about. Actually, no, she's in the start of Act 5. So this is 3. I'm just waiting to get done with the cutscenes. I'll be stopping the stream for tonight. And we'll tackle 4 either tomorrow or the next day, I'm not sure. Might stream something else tomorrow, I haven't really thought about it, or what I'd really play. Maybe some Dreamcast games, I've been wanting to kind of play around with those, or Sega Saturn, but... Mei Ling comes back into the fold at the start of Act 5, which is the final act of the game. But she'll be there.
You and me, we were great partners.
Way to take that bullet from me, dude. No. We're great lovers. And kissers.
Meryl!
There's a reason why he's got his face covered, too. You'll find out in the end. That's the thing, I really don't like Metal Gear Rising. I might play it, I have the Xbox 360 version, because when I try to do it on PC, it's not that good. Oh look, it's Pretty Boy Snake. He actually looks more like Liquid. But yeah, I have the Xbox 360 version of Metal Gear Rising. I could stream that for like maybe one time as a one-off, but I'm not going to complete that game. I really don't like it. Which is surprises a lot of people, especially since they know that I speedrun, or used to speedrun, Bayonetta 2 when I was able to do it because my back wasn't killing me. They're like, well, if you like that game and Devil May Cry, why don't you like Metal Gear Rising? It's like, it's got a lot of problems with it. Started off, there was no blocking, then they patched blocking in, then they patched it out, so you have to parry everything. The game's, it's really weird, like, Platinum Games is like hit or miss.
Don't give up on me.
And it was kind of like Metal Gear Rising was kind of like the deciding factor, it's like, where it started to be kind of good or not. And if you look at this wrong, it looks, if you come in certain places, it looks really inappropriate.
Meryl, don't go.
Give me the O face and
Meryl.
see her shaking. Oh yeah, maybe you should have cleared her airway first, moron.
Meryl! Meryl! It's not... I mean...
I'm suddenly in love with you. Okay. No, it's her gear's in the way. You'd have to take that out. Having had to do chest compressions with somebody, you know, on someone before, it's like you can't have anything obstructing the way. You'd have to take off the flak vest.
If it's alright, call me Johnny.
Haha, it's Johnny's offspring. He's actually a genome soldier who, if I remember correctly, if he's a genome soldier who's based off of the Les Enfants project, which basically made Big Boss. So he's like partially Big Boss and Snake. Actually, you shouldn't break the sternum. That's a misconception. If you break a sternum, you are causing more problems. You can cause flailed ribs, which are extremely dangerous, which can puncture organs in the lungs. The rib cage is made to bend and compress to a certain part, but if you're breaking ribs, which can happen accidentally, but if you're intentionally breaking ribs or the sternum, that can kill somebody.
There is shadow.
Which is like the biggest problem that I've run across people teaching, supposedly trying to teach CPR, and they've gotten a lot of things pulled. It's like you should not be breaking sternums or ribs or anything like that trying to do CPR. You're either too high or you're being too vigorous with it.
You
At least his mustache survived being in the fire. Not his face, but the stash is alright.
Is my mustache okay? I mean, my face looks like hell, but I gotta keep looking like Lee Van Cleef.
Yeah, trust me, T-Walls. I come from a family of nursing, and I've been an EMT myself. You shouldn't be breaking ribs. It is, like, extremely dangerous. Now, once in a while, one may break just from doing it, but it's not like... But I've heard people saying, like, well, you're not doing it right unless you're breaking everything. It's like, oh my god, you will kill a person horribly.
Come on. Let's take this guy to his friends.
Oh, good. Drebin showed up. Yeah, and that's the problem. Fortunately, I don't come across it too much. You don't hear about people telling people to break ribs anymore a whole lot, but every once in a while it does pop up on the radar. It's like, oh my god. It's like the same thing, like they'll also be not only telling people to break ribs and sternums, but also like to do airway breathing, which is what you actually don't do anymore. The CPR procedure has completely changed. They figure that actually, as long as you keep blood circulating, that's actually a lot better than trying to have to stop chest compressions and then try to do airway to get oxygen into the system. Because they figure, like, if you're not keeping everything moving and the heart moving, that it's going to be a bigger waste. So that's what they say, just entirely skip airway and just go complete with chest compressions. That's the newest thing. That's come up in the past, I think, 4 or 5 years. Alright, save the game. Yes. Yeah, exactly. So it sounds like you probably had one of the more updated ones, so that's good. Yeah, airway breathing, they're like, they kind of realized that it's not really needed at that point, since they're pretty much dead. Blood has enough oxygen in it still, that you just need to keep going like crazy with the compressions. Alright, so enough talk about CPR, breaking ribs, and what to do and what not to do, and different techniques and so forth. That's actually pretty good. That's like 131 beat. Yeah, it's 131 beat per minute song, so that's a pretty good rate. That's like basically compressing their hearts. That's pretty good tempo to it. Alright, so I will not be installing the game right now. Instead, it's the end of the stream for tonight. Alright. I've been streaming for over 3 hours. I actually had to restart at one point because I screwed up, like, getting a... We have to press X to get those extra scenes, and then I screwed it up again and said, screw it. I'm just going to miss on the trophy. I'll just keep going anyway. So thanks for hanging out tonight. It's always good to see you, T. Wallace, Fico, anybody else who is lurking. You're all awesome. I will be back tomorrow streaming, most likely again, 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, but I don't know what I'll be streaming. I think I'll probably give this game a break for one day. I mean, like Act 4 or Mission 4 that comes up next is the fun one to watch, especially if you're a fan of Metal Gear Solid 1, because you go back to Shadow Moses. So there's like, it's non-stop Easter eggs and references. So if you love that game, Twin Snakes, definitely check it out. Like I said, I'll either be doing it tomorrow or the next day. I might stream some Sega Saturn games or Dreamcast. I'm not really sure, but I like to kind of take a break. But let's see, when is Thanksgiving? Thanksgiving is Thursday. So I'll probably have a stream on Thanksgiving as well. I mean, I've been streaming about every single day, so I do stream at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So if you don't know what time that is, wherever you are in the world, just type it into Google. It'll translate it for you. It'll say, hey, 8:30 p.m. EST. It'll basically convert it to wherever you are in the world. You can also follow me on Twitter, or bookmark it at least. That's my Twitter handle, and I'll also post up if I'm going to stream or what it will be, usually around an hour to 2 hours in advance. So thanks for hanging out, everybody, and I will see you possibly tomorrow or the next time.